We're heading towards Canungra, which is 15 kilometres away. Canungra is was an army town, but its history really goes back to Inga. Just 1 second, we're just going to adjust the camera. Bit better. This camera that I'm recording on at the moment, by the way, is the Osmo Pocket 3, which is pretty remarkable because it has a gimbal. So that really enables me to shift it around a fair bit rather than being fixed like the Action cam or any of the DSLRs. As I was saying, Canungra's history, like many small towns, Mullaney was the same, and I used to live in Mullaney, and I've mentioned that before. Started out as timber towns, there are places where the loggers went to get the timber that helped build Australia, or Queensland in this case, of course, obviously, but the history is with Lay's sawmill, and I believe that there's still some remnants of it here, so when we get there we'll go and have a look and see if we can find something. But I believe the name Canungra comes from an indigenous word for owls, or place of the owls, or valley of the owls, or something like that. But it's a beautiful spot. We're really running through a valley floor at the moment, and it is or was used as a training area, I think, during World War II, and became an army town. There's now a pretty big army settlement / base up here. Let's pop into town and get ourselves something like a Devonshire tea or a pie. When we go to country towns, what do? Well, you go to the bakery. We're just coming into Canungra now. Must be about the shortest 15 kilometres I've ever driven. There's not a huge amount in this little settlement. One of my favourite little cafes is just up here, though, the trading post, or something like that. And I was coming to see a physio here at one stage, this Scenic Rim Physios. That's called the Outpost Cafe. There it is on the left. Let's go and see if we can get ourselves a cup of tea. Popular for me. It'll take quite a while to get served, I think, and I don't want to leave Millie in the car for too long. So this is apparently somewhere around here. It was where the sawmill was, here in Finch Road, but I just don't know where. So maybe a drive down Finch Road is like a drive down memory lane.
You have arrived.
Oh, here we we've arrived. So this is Finch Road, but I don't know exactly where the site of the old sawmill was. But let's just take a run along here anyway, just for the hell of it, because it's interesting. So I wonder if that's it ahead of us. Only because there's a road that leads off into that bush, but I just don't know what's in there. Let's see if we can follow the road. What's the worst that could happen? Well, this is the road that leads in. I just don't know where it goes to. Well, it looks pretty exciting. It's the sewage treatment plant. There's a couple of water dragons here. Have a look at that. Well, let's not go in there. Shit of a place to go. Oh boy. Let's go back to that bridge. Well, no, what's the point? We know what we're going to be looking at. We're going to be looking at the Canungra sewage works. Just imagine if you live up here and you're giving someone directions to your house, and you'd say, you just turn right at the shed farm. Let's head on up to Tamborine. Now there's a couple of ways to get to Tamborine, or Mount Tamborine I should say. You know, one is via Tamborine itself, and the other is via Canungra. The Tamborine Road up to Mount Tamborine is pretty narrow, but this one here is even worse. So while it's a beautiful spot, Tamborine, I'm not certain you'd want to live there, given that it's pretty isolated in the sense that there's only these couple of roads. I think there might be a third one too, but this one's only a couple of roads to get up there, and they're all pretty narrow. And this particular one has a one-way section, which means that if you hit it at the wrong time, you might sit there for 5 minutes while the light's red. Here we go. This is the one-lane section which is controlled by lights. Let's see if we get lucky, and we did. We better race them in case they change. And this is why I wouldn't want to live up this way, you know, because if you took this road down to Canungra, you could get unlucky both ways, you know, so spend 10 minutes just parked in the road waiting for the lights to change. Mount Tamborine was hit pretty bad by the storm in December 2023, the one that flattened my troopy, the other troopy that is, and knocked a couple of trees over in the yard and demolished the fences. And they couldn't get out for a couple of days, I think, and they lost power for at least a couple of weeks, I think, too. So once again, they're quite exposed up here. But it is beautiful. So I guess that's always a trade-off, isn't it? You know, if you live in a beautiful part of the world, it's probably because it is isolated, or you're surrounded by trees. There's very little traffic. None at all when the roads are blocked. But what a gorgeous drive this is. There are a couple of attractions up here, and obviously apart from the scenery and the cafes and accommodation, and one is a skywalk, which we just passed. And then there's also what used to be, and I assume it's still there, the Thunder Egg Park, or whatever it's called, where people could go prospecting for thunder eggs being rocks that inside them have crystals. And if you get lucky and they cut it open for you, you may well find that you've got a rock with a crystal growing inside of it. And here it is. It's called Thunderbird Park.